Well, first and new at 6, we have just learned that Alaska prosecutors will not try a third time to convict an Unalaska man charged in the death of 2 teen girls after a pickup truck went over a cliff near the Aleutian town. A judge declared a second mistrial March 31st in the case against 25-year-old Dustin Ruckman. Ruckman faced 2 counts of criminally negligent homicide in connection with a May 2019 crash on Mount Ballyhoo. Prosecutors say Ruckman drove a Ford F-150 toward a steep overlook above Unalaska before it went over the edge, plunging hundreds of feet. 16-year-old Carly McDonald and 18-year-old Kiera Rentera Haste were killed. And after jurors said they could not reach a unanimous verdict, the judge ended the trial without a verdict for a second time. Today, the Deputy Attorney General John Skidmore confirmed the state will not seek that third trial. The case was retried in Anchorage after it was moved out of Unalaska over concerns about seating an impartial jury in that small community. Happening now, people in Anchorage raising awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous people. Today's 3rd annual walk started about 30 minutes ago at the Ansett building on the UAA campus. Now, earlier today, people made and brought posters to the event to show solidarity. Native drummers and dancers are part of today's walk. We'll have more on the event tonight on the Late Edition. 19-year-old Kelly Hunt is a recent case that has drawn attention and will likely be mentioned tonight. Of course, she was missing for more than 3 months. Her body was found in a ravine near West 36th Avenue and Brooks Drive. A vigil was held in her honor last night in Anchorage. The state medical examiner is still working to determine her cause of death. Senator Dan Sullivan says a major upgrade could be coming to Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson. It involves a multi-billion-dollar plan the Air Force calls Fighter Town Recapitalization. Now, Sullivan says it's about making old infrastructure new again and setting the base up for future training and fighter missions. Senator Sullivan raised the issue during today's Armed Services Committee hearing, and he pointed to the size of the proposed investment and the strategic importance of Alaska and the Arctic and Indo-Pacific. The roughly $7 billion proposal would replace and expand buildings like hangars, operations space, and support buildings. And of course, many of them were built decades ago. The military is now looking ahead to new training demands.
It's great for national security, but it's really good for the economy of Alaska. The Alaska comeback's happening. We are no longer a Pentagon strategic backwater.
Now, Sullivan says the funding is part of the Pentagon's budget request. He expects the proposal to move through Congress as lawmakers negotiate the defense spending bill. Well, the further we get into spring, the less need there is for studded tires. Today is the last day you can have them on. And of course, that's on the road north of 60-degree north latitude on that line. And starting tomorrow, you can be fined if you have them on. Leaving studded tires installed can damage pavement and increase road hazards. April is coming to an end, but the weather still looks very much like March. Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry joins us now. Melissa, I understand we could see some dangerous conditions moving in.
Yeah, we have a pretty impressive storm that's going to move in starting overnight tonight. We'll see those impacts in South Central continuing all the way through early Saturday morning. Want to show you those weather headlines. It's going to be wet and windy across South Central. Again, that kicks off tonight, continues into the weekend. Snow levels are dropping with this initial round, 500 to 1,000 feet even overnight tonight. Places like Thompson Pass could see up to a foot of snow with this storm. And we do have an avalanche warning in effect. High avalanche danger right in South Central. Here's a look at some of those conditions from Anchorage to Girdwood, Summit Lake into Thompson Pass. These are all areas that you should stay out of the backcountry heading into this weekend. Again, it's a lot of wind, a lot of moisture coming in, and natural and human-triggered avalanches are certainly possible, but even likely with what we're seeing coming in. Right now, it's just some light rain that we're seeing in the higher elevations of Anchorage into the valley. Heavier rain moving up the Cook Inlet region. We're going to hold on to just chances for those lighter showers tonight into tomorrow, but that bigger band of moisture still pretty far offshore. That is going to arrive during the day on Friday. Those of you on the Kenai Peninsula, you'll be the first to see it mid-morning tomorrow. Heavy rain from Homer into Seward all the way into Prince William Sound. And then I expect that to fill into the Anchorage Bowl Friday night. Chances for showers earlier, but that heavy rain likely in Anchorage and the Valley Friday night into Saturday morning. here's the good news. It does come to an end pretty quickly, back to calmer conditions by Saturday afternoon. But this storm will also pack a punch when it comes to the wind. Temperature-wise, will drop into those mid-30s overnight tonight with chances for light showers, and then again, increasing chances for rain and wind as we push into the second half of the day on Friday. I'll have a closer look at that full extended and statewide forecast here in a few minutes.
Thank you, Melissa. Well, a vote on a tentative agreement to end the school bus driver strike in the Mat-Su Borough is expected to happen tonight. Drivers haven't worked since March 2nd. Teamsters Local 959 and Durham School Services reportedly reached a deal this week. If it is finalized, the service could return as soon as Monday. The State Board of Education has approved the application for the Pearl Creek STEAM Charter School in Fairbanks. Preparations to open the school this fall can now start. And of course, that includes creating a contract with the school district, hiring staff, and ordering curriculum materials. Members of the school's academic policy committee say they could hire a principal in the next few weeks. However, challenges involved logistics remain, as the school board has already approved a recommended budget.
And that means that investments that we put in our recommended budget, which was passed a couple weeks ago, we'll have to look at those investments again, potentially, if this school is going to open in the fall, and likely would have to reduce them in the absence of additional funding.
Now, despite the challenges, the Academic Policy Committee is celebrating the state's decision and believes they have a strong foundation to start with. More than 200 families have already started the enrollment process. And the principal says that the school board will decide if they will appeal the state's decision by next Tuesday.
Hopefully that doesn't happen, because I think it would be pretty harmful to a large group of families and students. And I think, that I really hope that the school board hears us, sees us, and knows that.
Now, if the school board chooses to appeal the state's decision, that process will be handled in Superior Court. A high-profile conversation on Japan's role in the Arctic is happening tonight in Anchorage. Right now, you're going to see some video of past events held by the Alaska World Affairs Council. Today, the council, along with the Commonwealth North, are hosting former Japanese Foreign Minister Yoko Kamiyamawa at the Willowa Social. It's described as a discussion centered around Japan's growing presence in the Arctic and what it means for international cooperation and Alaska.
Japan is a partner of Alaska's in many, many aspects. And so, we just try to build on those and let people learn in a nonpartisan way what's happening in the world and ways that they can stay informed and, if they want, be involved.
The Arctic Institute reports Japan has been envisioned as a landing point for a proposed trans-Arctic submarine cable. Alaska World Affairs Council says it will be discussed at tonight's event. Other topics like maintaining peace in Arctic countries and economics, those are also expected. The Anchorage Fire Department's newest class of firefighters just finished their final test and things got heated. Ooh, that's scary. Well, today, 19 AFD cadets completed live fire training. The test simulates real fire situations as closely as possible. Anchorage Fire Chief Doug Schrage says that the cadets have been preparing for this moment since mid-January.
This is the first opportunity we've had to get our cadets into what we would term legitimate heat, where they can actually feel and we can have interactions with them, letting them know, like, this is a 5 out of 10, this is a 7 out of 10.
The cadets will graduate May 8th, then be assigned to fire stations. If you want to be a firefighter yourself, visit the Anchorage Municipality website or visit a station to get more information. And as ice and snow clears across Alaska, plenty of things are revealed, including all this trash. To make sure Anchorage stays looking good, the city's Healthy Spaces crews have doubled their efforts to turn pretty gross-looking places into areas that people want to spend time in. It includes at homeless camps or even on sides of the road, where things like old mattresses and furniture are dumped. If you see something, you're urged to report it. Anchorage's citywide cleanup also starts this weekend with an event at Westchester Lagoon. and runs all month long from May 2nd through the 31st.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.